Hello everyone, welcome back to Lucky15, and in this video I'll be giving you my Lucky15 predictions for today's horse racing action. Just want to apologise for the late delay. I was out last night and I didn't have time to get into the racing too much. So without further ado, without wasting any time, we'll get straight into today's selections. And with our first tip today, we go to Sandown for the 120 with a horse called Not Another Muddle. Currently 6-4 with bookmakers at the moment, trained by Gary Moore. His son Jamie Moore's booked for the ride. Now I was at Sandown last time when this horse was making its first run of the season, and it was really well backed. I think it went in from 8-1 to something like about as short at one point as 3-1, but it was co-favourite for the race, and they expected a good run that day. It did run well. It finished third behind two nice horses, one of Paul Nicholls called Dolos, and also as well one of Kerry Lee's called Gino's Trail, who are both rated over 150, and they think this horse, I believe, connections to be very well handicapped. This race is a lot easier today, versatile on the ground as well, so you shouldn't mind the soft ground that's currently at Sandown. And for me, I think it will finally get its head in front today. So at 6-4, I thought that wasn't a bad one to get the ball rolling. We then go to the 245 at Fakenham with a horse called Pistol Whipped, 6-5 with bookmakers currently at the moment, trained by champion trainer Nicky Henderson. His stable jockey Nico de Boinville's booked for the ride, finished third on hurdle debut at Newbury, where the form's worked out really well. You've had the 4th and the 5th come and win again since, and also as well the 6th place horse ran a good race to be placed at Sandown last time out, so the form has been boosted. I remember Nicky Henderson saying he really liked this horse a lot in his interview after Newbury, and he said that this horse would always want further. It's going up slightly in trip by an extra few furlongs, which I think will suit, and I just thought this horse could definitely get his head in front today. We then go to the 350, staying at Fakenham with a horse called Lord du Mesnil, 9-2 bookmakers currently at the moment, trained by Richard Hobson, who I think is an underrated trainer. Paul O'Brien claims 3 on this horse. Now this horse finished third at Newcastle last time out behind two good horses. One was called Arthur Mack and the other one was called Nesta Park with Ben Paulins, who had some really good bump form. That was a decent effort that day. And before that, if you go back to its form at Newcastle back in December, the 3rd place that ran again at Newcastle has actually been brilliant form. You've had Beakstown come and win a Grade 2, you had Windsor Avenue bolt up at Sedgefield, and also as well Ask Ben, the winner of that race, has won again a couple of times since. So that's really good form. I think this horse has been a little bit unlucky in recent runs, bumping into a few good ones, but I think it's got a good opportunity today, and at the price is at 9-2. I thought that was a good price to be back in there, so that's going to be our 3rd tip. We then go to Sandown for the 435 with a horse that's aptly named It's Got Legs, 9-1 bookmakers currently at the moment, trained by Gary Moore again. Jamie Moore booked for the ride. Hopefully he can give us a bookend double in this. Now this horse does remain a maiden under rules, still 0 from 12, but I think the trip today should definitely suit it, over 2 miles and 3 furlongs. Often shapes really well, but often doesn't find a lot for pressure. It has run over 3 miles, which it probably, I thought it did get that day, but I think going back in trip could help it. Going up that hill as well, the stamina will come into play, and is very versatile on the ground. Its form does really stack up, even though it hasn't won. It's 6th at Ascot's worked out quite well. There's been subsequent winners from that, and also as well the 3rd at Kempton. I remember the 2nd horse, Plantagenet, has won again since, so there are some decent form lines with it. It's Got Legs, and I just thought at 9-1 he could be worth taking a punt on at that price to finally get his head in front and no longer remain a maiden. So they're my tips for today's racing. If you haven't done so already, please hit the subscribe button for more tips here on my YouTube channel. You can also follow me on Twitter as well. My handle is at Lucky15, and that's all I've got to say, so please gamble responsibly. Hopefully we can have some winners today, and we'll be seeing you soon.